I know it's the middle of January, but today I think we're going to be feeling the heat.
Ooh, that sounds nice.
Well, quite honestly, Carrie, I'm surprised that you were willing to make this recipe. In fact, I think you were the one that suggested it.
Okay, so first off, I do not appreciate your tone in blaming me for this recipe,
That's how I roll.
particularly if it's an epic failure.
Oh, true.
And second off, if I picked it
Yeah.
and you're surprised, I'm going to go with split pea soup.
Ooh, that's a pretty good guess. But no, I think this recipe, rather than grossing you out, is probably going to burn off a few of your taste buds.
Yum.
Welcome to Mom's Wooden Spoon.
Get your apron on and your fanny flicker ready as we cook up some nostalgia.
Ooh, yummy. Welcome, everybody.
Hello!
I didn't think Carrie was going to say anything.
That was a very pregnant pause. I felt like I needed to fill it.
I'm not pregnant. What are you talking about? Are you?
Surprise! No.
Let's change the subject right now.
Let's please.
Moving on. To celebrate National Hot Sauce Day.
There's a National Hot Sauce Day?
Did you even think there would be such a thing?
How did I not know about this?
I know, because you love spicy.
I hate spicy, but my husband is a hot sauce aficionado.
He is, he even makes his own.
Oh, yes.
Yeah. Well, National Hot Sauce Day, you'll have to tell him, is on January 22nd.
Nice.
Yeah, so we're going to be making something with a little heat today.
Ooh, spicy.
Yeah. And we're not adding hot sauce in it, but
Okay.
we could top it with the hot sauce, which I don't think you will.
No.
No. So this particular Mary's memo did not have a date on it at all.
I remember that.
Yeah, and well, we had extremely excellent Nancy Drew skills and figured it out.
Oh, yeah. So was I the Bess or the George to your Nancy? Or was I Ned Nickerson?
I think you know way more about Nancy Drew than I anticipated.
Oh, no. Really? I read all of them.
Well, I did too. We read our Aunt Cindy's book.
She had, it felt like as a kid, hundreds.
Yes.
I read all that the Defiance Public Library carried.
Really?
And I read all that the Defiance Middle School carried. Mrs. Furness, my middle school librarian, on the first day showed me where the Nancy Drew books were.
Did she?
She did. Oh, and I went back over and over. She did try to get me to read the Hardy Boys, but I was like, boy schmoys. Bring on Nancy Drew.
So funny. Well, we are going to move on to the mystery of the hot spicy casserole.
Ooh, that's
right.
So exciting.
I know, right? So we determined Mary's memo was from October because it says October is at the top of it. That was not really any brainiac.
Seems pretty good.
Yeah.
Even Ned could have figured that one out.
Oh, poor Ned. And then because it is typed, it definitely looks like a typewriter.
Yes.
Did it like an old-fashioned typewriter.
Yes.
We determined it was from 1972.
Okay.
Yep.
Well, that's perfect Nancy Drew era. Let's hop in Nancy's fancy pale blue convertible.
Whoa.
And head on down
to
see her father at the local attorney shop.
And then go across the street to the grocery store, and we are going to pick up for this recipe some hot bulk sausage, preferably Bob Evans, which I could not find.
Oh.
We're going to pick up also with Nancy and Ned some onion, green pepper, macaroni, milk, sour cream, canned tomatoes, chili powder, and a little bit of salt.
And then we're going to take all our ingredients back to Hannah Gruen, our trusty housekeeper and pseudo mom, and she's going to whip us up a delicious hot and spicy casserole.
Oh, I'm so excited! You guys don't know Nancy Drew. This is going to be the worst podcast ever.
If you don't know Nancy Drew, you should.
That's true.
Yeah, that's
so much fun.
Gosh, what a huge part of my childhood.
It really was. I loved it, but Carrie loved it.
Adored Nancy Drew.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And we had the old books that didn't really have the pictures that you normally think would be in a middle school age book. They were the silhouette type pictures. Do you remember the silhouettes? It was just all black. And I thought Nancy's silhouette was the most glamorous thing I'd ever seen in my life.
Oh, yes, it was.
The dresses, and she wore the little kitten heels all the time. Ooh, she was gorge.
She was amazing in her pale blue Cadillac. I wish I could remember what kind. I'm feeling like it's sad. And I can't think of the town that she lived in either. I feel like I've let Nancy down.
Oh, you really didn't, because you knew all the daggone character names.
All the characters.
What the heck? I don't remember anything from middle school. Carrie can list all the cast of characters.
Well, I mean, in full disclosure, I mean, I've read them with my daughter. And
that's true.
They're fresh in my mind. But I don't think that matters. I think I absolutely would have been able to.
Ned.
Yeah.
Good Lord.
The handsome football player that he was.
Wow. All right. So I'm going to try to not make the same mistake that we've made several times on this podcast, and that is by using too much onion.
It does kind of seem to be our forte.
I think it is. So this recipe says to use 1 cup chopped onion, but we are going to be cooking it in with the sausage. So I think that will kind of mellow the flavor.
I always think it does.
Yep. And Carrie's in charge of the green pepper. So can you hear her crunching it open?
I was just ripping it open.
So she's going to chop the green pepper. I'm going to chop the onion. And between the two, we shall meet.
Oh, wow. That's very exciting.
Those fancy words.
Have you ever seen pictures of green peppers that you open them up and they look like a mouth with wonky teeth?
I recently saw somebody who put googly eyes on them too and put them out for Halloween because they look like they're screaming or making these
hilarious
aghast faces.
Ours doesn't look like anything.
Oh,
I know. I was kind of disappointed.
That is such a bummer.
The last time we were home, my daughter, our mom, and I went through Myers.
Yes.
So if you're a northerner, you're familiar with
the
joy
Myers.
that is Myers.
Yeah.
And with a pack of googly eye stickers from the dollar store.
Yes.
And we stuck googly eyes on random products.
You defaced property at the Myers?
Yeah. So watermelon had googly eyes.
Oh my gosh. Did you guys get the giggles?
Oh, so badly. They had in the liquor aisle a pack of ping pong balls.
Oh my gosh.
I'll let you decide what they're for.
Oh, I would not have any guess.
And so we put googly eyes on the package on one of the balls.
Oh my.
So it was so much fun.
That's kind of wholesome fun.
It really was wholesome fun. You feel like you're getting away with something bad. Yeah. My daughter was, really kind of making sure nobody could see her and that kind of thing. The Planters Peanuts guy, he's got like that monocle. We put one eye on the monocle.
That's so funny.
It was very amusing. Very amusing. Now, if you're a manager at Myers, maybe you would disagree with my assessment, in which case it was not me. I just made this story up for the podcast.
For the podcast.
Kristen.
I did it. I was in town and I put the googly eyes on everything.
We had just a blast.
That's so fun. Well, gosh, I was really actually surprised. So I'm surprised by the fact that you went around and put googly eyes on stuff. And I am surprised by the fact that you were okay with us making a hot and spicy casserole.
Oh, yeah, because when you look at the recipe, this sucker is going to burn the tongue of the most avid spice eater.
But honestly, it has hot Italian sausage in it.
Which can be
a little bit
spicy for us wimps.
That's right. And I went ahead and bought a different style of tomato that I used recently and absolutely loved, because the recipe says to get a can of chopped tomatoes. And I'm like, I think that must be more finely diced than diced tomatoes, right? Chopped sounds, I don't know. I couldn't find any chopped tomatoes.
Sounds smaller to me, but
does it?
Yeah, but
I don't like a big chunk of tomato in a casserole.
Oh my gosh.
Anyway.
Agreed.
So I found these recently at Kroger. They are Kroger brand fire roasted salsa style diced tomatoes.
Way to plug Kroger, by the way.
Know.
They are not a sponsor of this podcast,
but
FYI, but they could be.
Yeah. And it not only has, I'm trying to see, and
oh my gosh, she's got the can
I got my eyes
at arm's length away. She's tipping her head way back, and she's making that face that you make when you can't see. I don't know why we do it. It's the same face you make when you put on mascara.
That's right.
Yep.
I'm totally doing that.
She's making the putting on mascara face as she's trying to read the ingredients in the can.
Oh, that's funny. Well, it does have some jalapeno peppers in it, Carrie, so this might blast you out.
It might.
Yeah. So anyway, as I was researching this and in all my shock and awe that you were willing to do something hot and spicy, and I found an actual study that was done in 2012 of fraternal and identical twins.
Okay.
And it tested their enjoyment of spicy food.
Okay.
And it basically found that your pain tolerance is hereditary. Your pain tolerance, your heat tolerance is hereditary. So we both kind of grew up with this Midwestern food, which is not very spicy.
No.
Right?
No. Famous for its blandness.
That's right. But the article continued to say that you can build up your spice tolerance, but you have to keep doing it because you're actually killing nerve endings as you do this. And so your nerve endings will grow back.
And you have to re-kill them.
You have to keep re-killing them.
Wow, I'm not going to.
No?
I'm happy with my nerve endings exactly as they are.
Oh, well, see, I think I can tolerate spicy foods because when I was younger, I thought that being able to eat spicy foods was super cool.
Oh.
And, I wanted to be everything super cool.
Who doesn't?
And I was not super cool. So anything that would make me be any closer to super cool, I was going to try.
Sure. And spicy food was it.
Oh, it was my go-to drug.
Fascinating.
I know, right?
Drug, even. Man, what a rebel you are.
I am a rebel.
Spicy food drug.
Oh, yeah. Yes. Oh, my gosh. Okay, so we have the green pepper and the onion chopped.
Yes, the very strong, burn your eyes onion.
So we're going to get that cooked up with the hot Italian sausage. And one thing I think we've told you guys before that we have learned is that when we have sizzling sounds on the stove, it interferes with our sound on our microphones.
It does. It makes it all very electronic-y and warbly. It's really weird.
Yep. So we are going to go away for a minute, cook this sucker up. Hopefully the onions will stop making Carrie cry, and then I can make Carrie cry on my own. Yep. And we'll be ready to go. The sausage is sizzled.
It is.
Yeah.
And we got chatting while it was sizzling.
Yes.
Totally walked away from the sausage. We're like, oh my God, we're cooking things.
We went over in the dining room. We started chit-chatting. I'm like, oh my God, the meat is still on the stove. It is not burned.
No, it's not. It actually looks really good.
It's perfect. We have drained the fat off of that.
Yep.
And now we are going to proceed to add everything but the sharp shredded cheddar cheese.
Okay.
Yes.
All right. So we're just going to be measuring beans.
That's right. So you're going to add the cup of sour cream.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to dump in this can of chopped tomatoes.
I mean, I don't think that sour cream in and of itself is a delicious thing at all. I like it on my baked potatoes and that. But I'm never going to eat a scoop of sour cream.
Well, no.
But I find that particularly through these Mary's memos, it's like the secret weapon in a good meal.
Yes, in a casserole, it's kind of binds everything together. It's got that nice little tart, creamy flavor.
Yes, it adds some tang.
Yeah.
I really have found a new appreciation for sour cream. Yeah, I think it's probably up until now had been underutilized in my cooking. I mean, now my cooking is underutilized. I don't do it.
True.
But if I did, I feel like sour cream is something that I need to incorporate more.
Absolutely. And the other thing we're incorporating in this, which I think was a big thing in the 70s, macaroni.
Oh, I think it was.
Yes, I have pre-cooked this macaroni because I didn't want to be dealing with two things at once. Because as you can see, I don't even stand near the stove when I'm cooking stuff. I walk away. How could I possibly cook meat and boil macaroni at the same time?
What I love about this diatribe that Kristen just had is that it was all about her, as though she's the only person involved in this podcast at all.
Well, it's not like you would go watch it. You have told our listeners time after time. Kristen does all the cooking and I stand here talking, don't you?
I'm cool with that.
Okay.
Too.
All right.
Yeah.
Well, you know what's funny? This actually seems like it could be a hamburger helper meal.
Oh, very much.
Yes. I mean, a make your own hamburger helper meal. And mirror.
A mirror. I love hamburger helper mirrors.
And do you know Hamburger Helper came out the year before this recipe came out? Came out in 1971.
I know that our father is a huge fan of the hamburger helper. That's the first thing I learned to cook because he taught me how.
Really?
Hamburger helper. Heck yeah.
Oh, so good.
There's a lot of good options of hamburger helper out there. Okay.
Yeah.
So, Kristen, on my way here today,
Yes.
I saw the cutest thing.
Oh.
So there was a dad walking around the corner of the house with his little boy, looked to be about maybe 4 or 5 behind him. Dad's got a ladder. Little boy's, got his hat on, walking behind him. And it made me just chuckle because I thought, oh, that little boy is feeling so good about being his dad's helper. And immediate flashback to me helping our dad build like this little fence. It was just a decorative lattice work.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, how 80s, 90s is that?
Totally.
Lattice work fence.
You just kind of staple it up to the fence post, right? Or nail it up.
We had to dig holes and put in big old posts. Yeah. There was some work involved.
Yeah.
And I helped him. He couldn't have done it without me.
Oh.
And it wasn't
in your mind or in reality?
Please, I was 9 in my mind. And it was not until I saw that little boy behind his dad and was thinking how cute it was that it dawned on me. I was of zero assistant. Like, that's right. None. I was nothing.
You were a hindrance, probably.
Probably. I was just an annoyance and in the way. But, obviously my mom and dad did as parents do.
Yeah.
Oh, sweetie, this is the fence you and your dad built.
Oh.
And so, you know how you just grow up with things that you're told as a child?
Yes.
And they just are?
Yeah. Carrie helped build the fence.
I am an incredible fence builder.
Oh, wow.
And it just was until this morning.
And you realized it was all a lie.
It lied.
Our parents lied.
Epic lies.
Okay, so now I'm at a conundrum here.
Oh, I was like, thank you for dismissing my story. You're like, okay, good. Let's move on.
Well, as you're telling the story, I'm looking at this mixture and I'm getting a little concerned.
Okay,
because we are supposed to bake it for 20 to 25 minutes, but I have not added the milk yet. It's a half a cup of milk and the macaroni is already cooked.
Yeah.
And it's already really soupy enough.
Okay, so maybe just a little milk.
Okay.
Let's go a little.
All right. We'll add half the milk.
Okay. And then if it's too dry, we'll blame you. Ooh, that'll be fun.
I think that's the best idea ever. All right.
I like that.
Okay. So since this recipe is from 1972, Carrie.
We think.
Potentially. I thought it might be fun to research some consumer products that were launched in 72.
Okay.
And I think I think you definitely will love some of these. Okay, the first one, I was very surprised. Cottonelle toilet paper.
All right, 1972.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, there were other brands of toilet paper. Do you remember in the 70s, they were colored toilet paper? Green, yellow, pink, blue.
No, I do not remember that.
You do not remember that? Oh my gosh. Well, they stopped making colored toilet paper because A, it was bad for the environment, and B, it was bad for your hoo-hoo.
I was thinking it was probably the colors were irritating people's nether yaya.
Nether yaya. Yeah, so they took that off the market.
Oh, that's a good idea.
Yeah.
Do you remember back in the day, speaking of paper products, paper towels always had a pattern.
That's right.
Always. You could get fall paper towels with a nice autumnal mix.
I remember.
Design. I remember our mom ensuring that the paper towel design she picked out matched the kitchen.
Oh, yeah. I mean, that was the point of these colored toilet papers, that they matched the decor in your bathroom. Fancy schmancy.
Well, yes.
Yeah.
I think that's wild. And now we're all excited to have white.
But I'll tell you what. White toilet paper still isn't untouched by products. That sucker's bleached.
Oh, yeah, within an inch of its life.
Yeah, so I wonder if the bleach is bad for your nether regions.
Well, that is a whole nother story.
For another day.
And not this podcast.
No, so let's move on to something more fun than our nether regions.
Wow, Kristen, you are so much fun. Welcome to Mom's Wooden Spoon, where we cook food and discuss the no-no square.
Let's talk about the the opposite end in foods that would have come out in 1972.
Great.
Oh my gosh. Okay, do you remember egg beaters, using egg beaters?
That was in 72?
Yes, to me, it's an 80s thing.
Oh, yeah, because we didn't know about them.
Right.
Because in 72, I was null and void. But I remember when egg beaters became a thing.
Super popular in the 80s because it was the diet culture that brought them
well,
out.
I think also in the 80s is when the concept that I believe has been debunked that eggs are bad for you.
That's right, high in cholesterol.
Yes.
You shouldn't have the yolks,
Yes.
especially.
And everybody moved away from eating eggs.
That's right.
Which I think we have all moved back into
Oh, we definitely
eggs.
have, yes.
But I think that's when the egg beaters was like a thing.
A thing. But egg beaters and another egg product came out in 1972, the Egg McMuffin at McDonald's.
Ooh, I do like an Egg McMuffin.
I like the sausage McMuffin with egg. That is delicious.
Mm-mm.
Egg McMuffins are actually not terrible for you. They've got the Canadian bacon and the egg and the English muffin, which is not too shabby, not too bad on the caloric intake there.
It'll do.
Well, it's going to be not too bad on the caloric intake in my mind, so that when I go get one, I'm like, I'm being healthy.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
High protein.
I just saw a meme the other day that said chocolate comes from a cocoa bean that is grown on a tree.
It's a plant product.
So when I'm eating chocolate, I'm eating salad.
Yes, you are. That is so great.
I'm like, I like you.
Oh my gosh.
Unknown meme poster.
Unknown
I like
meme.
you.
And you could chug down your Egg McMuffin or your egg beaters with a beverage that came out.
You chug down Egg
chug
McMuffins,
down.
do you?
Moving on. Chug down with your Egg McMuffin.
Okay, because I typically chew and if you want to go crazy, I masticate. Should be a super fancy word for chewing.
Ooh. Okay, as you masticate your egg beaters.
Oh my gosh, people are going to wow their family and friends with this knowledge.
They're going to think we are the weirdest people. We're talking about mastication and wiping your nose.
I mean, we are a full service podcast here. People get a nice recipe and excellent tips on food cleanliness and mastication.
Okay, what would you chug as you masticate stuff? And that would be Snapple.
Really? In 72?
72. Again, that seems like an 80s product to me.
Does.
Remember the Snapple lady?
Oh, yeah.
Advertisements?
You'd pop the cap off and there'd be like something in the cap. Like you could get a free Snapple.
Yes.
Do you remember they would have that on sodas too?
That's right. You'd peel off that little rubbery seal thing.
Yeah, pale blue thing.
Yeah.
And underneath it would be get a free Pepsi.
Yes. That was cool. That was back when consumer products were fun.
Oh, yeah. Which makes me, my little memory brain is going to town.
That's scary.
Remember when you would have like peelables on McDonald's French fries?
That's
You could peel it off and then you could get like a free something through your French fries.
And there were games like the Monopoly game that ended up being completely rigged and people were stealing them.
I had no idea.
Yes.
Oh.
Yeah, so normal folk did not end up winning that Monopoly game. All right, so before we get this in the little 1-quart casserole dishes, Carrie, one of your all-time favorite foods came out in 1972, and I have to tell you.
Olives.
No peas.
Yeah, right.
It was stovetop stuffing.
Ooh, this is funny. I just read an article like 2 days ago.
Yes, because I sent it to you.
Oh. It was a horrible, worthless, crappy article. Nobody should read it. Oh, that's so funny. So Kristen sent me an article on the TikToks.
I did.
And it was people taste testing various stuffings.
Yeah.
And I could not get the sound to work on it. But what I took away was stovetop one.
Stovetop totally won.
Yeah. Kristen, as we've been sitting here talking and that mixture's just been sitting here, look how thick it is again.
We need to add the milk.
We're going to have to add in all the milk.
Well, I'm glad we have talked your ears off, folks, because we did determine you need to add all the daggone milk.
It looks like it because it seems to be soaking it up.
Just by sitting here, we haven't even cooked it. So, all right, Mary, we are so sorry for doubting you.
I mean, time and time again.
We have.
The answer is just do what Mary did.
Oh.
I know.
We should. We're going to go bow our heads in shame while...
I'm not bowing my head in shame. Oh. You're the one who had this bootleg idea of not using the milk.
Okay.
I said use the milk. I got you, Mary. I got you. Kristen, she's the rebel.
I'm going to bow my head in shame and walk behind you and go get the pans.
Well, while you go away, as I was
Yeah.
looking at the recipe, trying to figure out the whole milk scenario that you inappropriately brought up, Mary on the bottom corner of this memo offers a reminder of some free publications.
Ooh la la.
And they are from the Publications Office of the U.S. Department of Agriculture.
Well.
And one of them is titled, Food is More Than Just Something to Eat.
Well.
Which I found to be fascinating because what is food if it's not something to eat?
True.
A face mask? I don't know. I thought
could
that
be.
was odd.
Yeah.
So I Googled it. You can find it. Some Minnesota library has it. Yes. And so I am going to put a link, which now made me just realize I should have looked to see the year.
Oh, duh.
Yeah.
So, not very Nancy Drew of you, Carrie.
That was super Ned Nickerson of me.
I was just going to say, what's his name?
Ned Nickerson.
So Ned
and
Nickerson
his college pals. Gosh.
Oh, man.
From the local college, not in River City.
River City.
Man, oh man.
Oh my
So
goodness.
anyway, so I will post the link if you want to see why food is more than just something to eat.
That is a great idea. I would love to know that.
Long.
You know what? I think it goes right along with Mary's idea of eating celery and carrot sticks at the Ohio State Fair.
Okay, Mary, I did not have you on that one. I got to be honest. I mean, add the milk, but celery at the fair.
Come on now. Come on, Mary.
No.
Well, Carrie, if you do look it up, I am so hoping that it really is 1972 because I found the coolest fact about 1972 I wanted to share with everybody.
Okay, all right. Yeah. Oh, I can't wait to see if we can ruin the entire premise of the podcast today.
Exactly, because if she comes back and says it's not 72, all my cool research is for naught.
For naught.
For naught.
So because it's hot sauce day coming up, and we are doing this in honor of said hot sauce day,
yes,
I felt like we need to delve in to hot sauce.
To hot sauce, okay.
Yeah, Tabasco was the first official hot sauce. Some dude whose name I did not bother writing down found Tabasco peppers, thought they were cool, came back, planted acres of them.
Oh, really?
Mm-hmm. He had a friend come over, Mr. what is their last name? McElhenney? I don't know. You see it on the label of Tabasco. Okay, so anyway, his buddy came over. He gave some pepper seeds to him. Yeah. His buddy went to wherever he lived, planted a nice little crop of Tabasco peppers. Yeah. And then Civil War happened. And burning of the crops occurred.
Really?
Yep. Mr. McElhenney had fled his home, came back, all the crop gone. Aww. But there were like 3 little rando Tabasco plants that had sprouted up in weird spots that survived.
Oh my gosh.
And from those Tabasco plants, he got enough seeds, created a field, and bottled his first Tabasco sauce in old cologne bottles. Oh, there's no getting old cologne out of a bottle. So I agree. You know that there were floral essence
or musk. Ooh, yummy musk flavor.
Is that spice with a hint of musk I taste?
Oh my gosh, that's so funny.
But people loved it. And voila, Tabasco was born.
What a cool story.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm going to put these 2 casseroles in the oven. As Carrie was chit-chatting, I was putting the cheese on the top, and I didn't want to be crazy noisy, so I didn't even measure it, because I feel like you can't go wrong with too much cheese.
No, and you left some in the bag, which I did, which is shocker. With.
I just kind of thought maybe we could top it with more later.
Yeah.
But all right, we're going to pop these suckers in the oven for 20 to 25 minutes until bubble.
It is out of the oven.
It is indeed.
The cheese is melted. It's a little brown and crispy around the edges.
Oh, it looks delicious.
It really does. It looks very thick, despite the fact that we added in what was clearly way too much milk.
Way too much milk.
Kristen is scooping a piece out right now. And I do want to share something very, very important.
I don't think that she should share this. We've talked about this.
Yeah. As it turns out, my Nancy Drew sleuthing skills are a little more Ned Nickerson Maybe Bess. She's a bit of a scaredy cat. I fit that. Anyway, I was wrong.
Yes.
It is not 1972. I
No.
looked up the publication
Yeah.
that Mary references, and unless she was a time traveler of epic proportions, all of Kristen's not so interesting facts are bootleg and completely unrelated because this memo was from 1976.
And we're done. Bye.
Kristen has nothing else to say to you,
Nope.
but lucky for you, I can wow you with hot sauce facts until the end of time.
Lucky dogs.
Okay,
Yeah.
so Kristen, we do not have hot sauce to go with our.
Oh, yes, we do.
Oh.
It's a super cool holiday version, just habanero hot sauce, and it has a little
Gnome.
elf, a little gnome. That's what it is, a little gnome. So I'm going to put a little habanero
Okay.
on my second bite.
Okay, I am not going to do that
No.
at all.
I was shocked that Mary said in this memo that you could cut the heat by using just regular pork sausage, but that she didn't, and her family liked it this way.
Well, because we have done some other recipes
Yeah.
where her husband was not a fan of the spice.
No.
That cumin really did him in.
I know, right? And this, I mean, not only has the hot sausage, but an entire tablespoon of chili powder.
Yeah, that's pretty crazy.
Yeah, so I was shocked by that.
Yeah.
Right oh my gosh.
Are you going to eat that bite or what?
I'm taking a bite. Let's have Carrie tell you another delightful story.
75% of Americans say they use hot sauce. That's a lot. Oh, Kristen just put her arms up. She's doing an interesting dance. I'm not sure. Seizing, dancing. It could be. Maybe she's going to sneeze.
Maybe.
We're not sure what.
Take a bite. It is so good.
You like it? Is it good without the
it is.
additional hot sauce?
It is. I mean, to me, it's not crazy spicy, but there's a little bit of heat.
Is it going to burn my tongue?
Probably yours, yes. Oh, this is delicious, and it's not too liquidy. What do you think?
Way too big of a bite.
Oh my gosh.
Okay, so I am the wimpiest of spice wimps.
Yeah.
And that is a little spicy for me.
Is it really?
Whoever would have thought?
You and Mary's husband.
Mm-hmm.
Wow. Well, we did add that can of tomatoes that had jalapenos in it.
Mm-hmm.
And so that probably upped the spice.
I can't eat it. It was delicious. I enjoyed it tremendously, but I would have to wimp that up.
So maybe not hot sausage for you.
Yeah, I'm thinking because how sad is that? That hot sausage is very often too spicy for me. It's so pathetic. All I'm saying is I got lots of nerve endings.
You do. You have a lot.
Sometimes I am just one walking nerve.
She certainly gets on my nerves. So would you be able to eat it if we put a blob of sour cream on the top?
I bet. Ooh, let's try that.
Let's do it. Let's do it.
Yeah, go quick to the fridge, Kristen.
Well, I was going to tell you more 1972 facts since it's not from 1972, but I got a whole daggone list of stuff I researched.
Well, I feel like maybe we should pass on the 1972 facts and save them for another day.
I don't want to, Carrie. I don't want to. I did some specific 1972 research because I was listening to our podcast because I'm the editor, and I was realizing that I say the word cool all the time. So I decided to look up what would be some other ways to say cool in 1972. I found an article online that had a list of 10 ways.
Really?
Yes.
I want to hear that.
So I'm thinking I will adopt a new one.
Okay. Maybe. Gnarly.
Yeah, it's not it, man.
That's from the 80s.
It is. And some of them I was really surprised because I thought they were 80s too. But here's the list of 10. And then, Carrie, I want you to pick one for me to say for the rest of this episode.
Jeepers, Kristen. That's a good idea.
Thanks. Okay, so here they are. You ready?
Yeah.
Ways to say cool in 1972. Groovy. Of course.
Yeah. I mean, that's just, again.
Yeah. Funky.
Cole Medina.
No. Far out.
Oh, yeah.
That's a good one.
That is.
Nifty.
Oh, I think I would say that today.
Nifty. Mm-hmm. Bomb. That's bomb.
It's just bomb. It's not the bomb?
No.
Oh.
I think maybe in the 80s we added the.
Okay.
That's the bomb.
But before it was just bomb.
Bomb. That's bomb.
Okay. Groovy.
All right. Off the hook.
Ooh, not off the chain.
No,
just
off the hook. That's out of sight.
Ooh, yeah.
That's a good one. That is so groovy. Yep. Slamming. I don't remember slamming.
I don't either.
Well, this is from 1972. I was 2 and you were not even born yet.
That's true.
Slammin',
Slammin'.
Stellar.
Okay.
Yeah. And Radical. And one list had one that I thought was so 80s. And so I didn't include it on this list of 10 that I found on a different article. It was Cool Beans. I thought Cool Beans was 80s all the way.
That seems very, very 80s.
But then as I was reading, it actually came from Cheech and Chong, from one of their
which would have been
comedy
70s.
acts, which would have been 70s. So Cool Beans.
Interesting.
I think I'll use Cool Beans for the rest of this episode.
Let's not. Well, you know what? Yes, because we're almost done.
I know.
This episode just got a lot shorter, folks. I like the total hippie ones, like the groovy Far Out.
Yeah, I love those.
Yeah. I like that.
All right, so she put a big blob of sour cream on a bite. I mean, we're talking a big blob. And it's now edible for you?
Yeah, I don't get the burn.
Oh, that's good.
That's way better.
Yeah.
It's tasty, and the sour cream tastes yummy.
Ooh.
You don't need to have hot sauce to have fun.
No.
You can have spicy bulk sausage.
You totally can. And I would have to say this casserole is Cool Beans.
Oh, it's really tasty.
It really is.
Yeah.
One of the best casseroles we've made, I think.
Yes, there's another one that I really like.
The Frito casserole was delicious, and it was not too spicy.
It was not too spicy, but this is a really good one. I love a good casserole.
Yeah.
And this would absolutely fall on that list.
Pretty easy peasy to make.
Very easy peasy to make.
Yeah, not as easy as a hamburger helper, right, Dad?
Other than the fact that all the ingredients don't come in that handy dandy little box,
I know.
I think it is equally as easy as a hamburger helper.
Pretty easy. All right, so make yourself some delicious hot, spicy casserole, or find another reason to treat yourself.
Exactly.
Well, that's it for this episode. Thanks again for joining us, everybody. Don't forget to check out our website, momswoodenspoon.com, for recipes, pictures, and Carrie's blog. And also, be sure to set your alarm for our next episode, which will be released on January 29th. You will not want to miss it, as we will be making a recipe that our listeners requested.
Oh, I like it. That sounds groovy.
Yeah, it is so groovy and delish.
And if you keep listening after the close,
yeah,
you'll hear me reading the first Nancy Drew, The Secret of the Old Clock. Entire book, unabridged version. Stay tuned, folks.
Oh boy.
Thanks for listening to Mom's Wooden Spoon. If you like what you heard, don't forget to subscribe. If you want a copy of this recipe or to check out our blog, click on the link to our website in the podcast description. If you'd rather, you could get to our website through Facebook, Twitter, or Instagram. Pick your poison.
Don't say poison. We're making food.
The Secret of the Old Clock by Carolyn Keene. Chapter 1. It would be a shame if all that money went to the Tophams. They will fly higher than ever. Nancy Drew, a pretty girl of 16, leaned over the library table and addressed her father, who sat reading a newspaper by the study lamp. I beg your pardon, Nancy. What were you saying about the Tophams? Carson Drew, a noted criminal and mystery case lawyer, known far and wide for his work as a former district attorney, looked up from his evening paper and smiled indulgently upon his only daughter.